Great. So personalized learning, pathways, student success. It's day 3 of the conference, and I'll promise not to use any of these words. We've seen them everywhere here. And we're going to talk about how we can help students become better at learning. So in the past 5 years, nearly every major institution has had some kind of student success initiative of some sort. And this is because nearly half of students will not graduate in 6 years. And this is from a variety of reasons and problems that have many different influences into the student. And we all know that the problem with education and the cost of students dropping out, 1% of students is around $1 million in revenue, depending on the size of the institution, of course. But that's on average what it comes down to be. And advisors help students get to graduation. They have a very crucial role in the student's life cycle in higher education. However, on average, it's a 1 to 1,000 advisor to student ratio. So what we wanted to do is address some of the areas where advising isn't really focused on, the actual learning, how to help students become better learners. So we decided to build a personal learning assistant. And our team, to pull this off, you would have to have a team of computer scientists, data scientists, AI. My name is Ethan Kaiser. I'm the CEO and founder of StudyTree. My background was in computer science. My co-founder, Sylvia Nedelchik, he worked at Amazon. We bring a lot of the technical expertise from Amazon to what we do when we get to the recommendation engine. He's the CTO. We brought on Leon Kim, who is our head data scientist. And then we have 2 guys that work with us for web development, Steve and Ray. And together, we've won a variety of different student competitions. We've all recently graduated in the past 2 years. And right now, we're looking at a pretty large market size. So we have a pretty strong team. Our market size is roughly around $6 billion in the student support. When we look at the different areas of what student support really is, we look at higher education as a $6 billion market. And our platform can be broken down to 4 key components. So the university takes all their support services that they offer, their tutoring, their office hours for instructors, whatever the services they provide to students, they can onboard that onto our platform. And then what we do is we actually partner with a variety of different content providers. So we have some partnerships with Pearson. We're doing some things with McGraw-Hill. Anyone who provides, any publisher, any content provider, they can integrate with us. And Blackboard and Canvas and these other LMS systems, we integrate with them as well. We then have this bot that talks to students, helps them understand their strengths and weaknesses, how they should prepare for exams. And that's the artificial advising that we do. And then based on the conversations they've had, based on how they assess themselves, we can start to understand some behavioral data that is currently not being captured. So let's take a look at the actual platform. The university, again, can put on their support services. They can see what's being used, how students are using it from an admin panel. Then we have all these different partners. They can decide which resources they want to allow to be leveraged by this bot. So Khan Academy is free. We can do some things with them. They have some partnerships with Pearson, whether they're using some of their tutoring platforms. All these different partners, they can decide which ones they want to use. And then the bot is actually named Leon. We actually named it after our data scientist. And he can actually talk to the students. So let's say, for example, I have an exam coming up, and I'm struggling in certain areas. He can actually ask me, how do I think I'm going to do on the exam? Maybe I should have a study group. Maybe he'll find 3 or 4 students that are free around the same time that I'm free, and we'll come together and we'll go over a particular topic, like U substitution if it was calculus. He can then show me a pathway. Oops, I lied. But we show me some sort of strategy to help me prepare for this exam, some recommendations. And then I can engage with my colleagues, meet with them on campus or online. And if I do poorly on the exam, he can have next steps ready for me. Maybe I should meet with my instructor to go over a certain area that I was struggling on. And I think it's helpful to actually see a visualization of what actually happened at a pilot that we ran. If you could click the video. Just click anywhere. OK, I guess we'll do it that way. I guess you guys can still see it. So this is a visualization of what actually happened when we ran this at a institution over the summer. So Leon would actually have a conversation with them. Again, it's on their mobile device. He asked them, how do you think you'll do in the course? Are you interested in potentially joining study groups? Or do you want to connect your calendar through Gmail or Outlook? And then Leon saw an exam was coming up, and he decided to create 3 study groups. And he found students that may be strong and weak in different areas and decided to create what we call jigsaw study groups. It's a well-backed education concept, but at scale, it falls apart. It's very hard for professors to manage all these people, bringing them together. But for Leon, he can do that very easily. So he finds the students to bring together, sets the topics of things they should cover. The red dots represent tutors. So these are resource-intensive services. The university paid for their tutors, so we should get them to the most at-risk students. Then can we start to see, who's lacking motivation? How are these people collaborating? Did these students, when they collaborate, did they explain the topics they're strong and weak at very well to each other? They took their exam, and when the grades came back, we were able to see, who should meet with their advisor. Maybe we should create a study group next day to go over certain concepts, all in real time as data comes in. Go back to the slides. Yep. Cool. Awesome. And so this is what the data would look like from an administrative panel. So we can start to see what are the behaviors going on outside the classroom leading up to the exam. As a grade represents knowledge acquisition, the problems in the learning is in the behavior. So that's what we're addressing. We're making them better self-regulators. In our pilot, we saw 40% adoption, 60% adoption among students. And then if a student did poorly on an exam, 40% of them took that next step if we got to them within an hour. And luckily with our integrations with Blackboard and Canvas, we have that information in real time. The professors can see where the students are focusing. So as they give lectures, they can actually log in and see where the students are struggling, where they're focusing, the conversations they're having with Leon, all displayed nicely for them. We are a SaaS model. We sell to institutions. We sell $1,000 to $10,000 for a pilot, and then we do $5 to $10 per student after that. We have a pretty good go-to-market strategy. We connect with the institutions, we do demos, and then we pilot, and then hopefully retain them for a contract. We have actually a nice fit in the market. We're not an LMS. We're not a retention system. We're like in the middle where the actual learning occurs, and we make learning better at the institution at scale. We have a variety of different customers, and this year we'll do a little bit under $250,000 for our first year of revenue. And then this pipeline is actually worth over $1 million once we close all these other deals that we expect to do this year or maybe next year. So our milestones are pretty well set. We're currently raising about $1 million, and we did a pre-seed round. We're at revenue, which is great. So we bootstrapped this far to revenue, and now we're raising our $1 million seed round. And that will help us duplicate my sales efforts as the only salesperson on the team. And that's it. I'm out of time. Thank you, guys.